Once upon a time, somewhere in the town of Ibadan, there lived a man named Mr. Abe. He was a kind man known by everyone for his smiles and generous heart. Mr. Ade was married to a beautiful woman named Kemi. They had been married for 10 years and had two lovely children, Tunde and Simi. Mr. Ade loved his wife very much, but recently he started to feel that something was wrong. Kemi had been acting strange. She was always on her phone, whispering and laughing, and she started coming home late from the market. Mr. Ade's heart felt heavy with worry. He tried to talk to Kemi, but she always had an excuse. "Oh, Ade, I was just with my friend Funke," she would say, or "the market was very busy today." Mr. Ade could not sleep well at night. He was always thinking about what could be wrong. One day, he talked to his best friend, Kunle, about his worries. Kunle was a wise man and always gave good advice. He listened to Mr. Ade and then said, "My friend, if you really want to know the truth, you need to be clever. Sometimes, you have to pretend to be something you are not to know the truth." Mr. Ade thought about Kunle's advice. He knew that pretending to be someone else was not easy, but he had to do it to find out if Kemi was cheating on him. He decided to pretend to be blind. He thought that if Kemi believed he could not see, she might let her guard down and he would find out what was really going on. So the next morning, Mr. Ade called his children, Tunde and Simi, and said, "From now on, you must help your father more. I cannot see anymore. I am blind." The children were shocked and sad, but they promised to help their father. Mr. Ade started his new life pretending to be blind. He moved around the house slowly, feeling for the walls and furniture. He wore dark sunglasses and used a stick to find his way. Kemi was surprised and worried at first, but then she became even more secretive. Mr. Ade knew he had to be very patient. The truth would come out soon. Days turned into weeks, and Mr. Ade continued to act blind. Tunde and Simi were very helpful, guiding their father around the house and fetching things for him. They loved their father and wanted to make his life easier. Mr. Ade was proud of his children, but he still had to focus on his plan. Kemi became more relaxed around Mr. Ade. She stopped hiding her phone calls and started talking openly in the house. Mr. Ade listened carefully to everything. He noticed that Kemi often talked to a man named Bayo. Whenever she talked to Bayo, she would giggle and speak in a sweet voice. This made Mr. Ade's heart ache, but he kept pretending. One evening, Kemi told Mr. Ade that she needed to go to the market. She asked Tunde and Simi to stay home and help their father. "I won't be long," she said with a smile. But Mr. Ade had a feeling that she was not going to the market. As soon as Kemi left, Mr. Ade called Kunle. "Kunle, my friend, Kemi has just left the house. I need you to help follow her and see where she goes," he said. Kunle agreed immediately. He knew how much Mr. Ade loved his wife and wanted to help him find the truth. Kunle quickly arrived at Mr. Ade's house. He and Mr. Ade followed Kemi quietly. They stayed far enough behind so she would not see them. Kemi walked down the busy streets of Ibadan, and then she stopped at a small cafe. She looked around nervously before going inside. Mr. Ade and Kunle waited outside. After a few minutes, they saw Kemi through the window. She was sitting with a man, laughing and talking happily. Mr. Ade's heart sank. The man was Bayo. It was clear that Kemi was not just friends with Bayo. They were acting like a couple. Mr. Ade felt tears in his eyes, but he held them back. He needed to see more. He needed proof. He asked Kunle to take pictures with his phone. Kunle took a few pictures and then they quietly left. Back at home, Mr. Ade felt a mix of sadness and anger. He looked at the picture Kunle had taken. It was clear that Kemi was cheating on him. He did not know what to do next. He loved Kemi, but he could not ignore what she had done. He decided to wait and think carefully about his next step. He needed to talk to Kemi, but he also needed to make sure he had all the facts. The next morning, Mr. Ade woke up with a heavy heart. He knew he had to talk to Kemi about what he had seen. He could not pretend to be blind any longer. It was time for the truth to come out. After breakfast, Mr. Ade asked Tunde and Simi to go and play outside. He needed to talk to their mother alone. Once the children were outside, he called Kemi to the living room. "Kemi, we need to talk," he said in a serious tone. Kemi looked worried. She sat down on the chair opposite him. "What is it, Ade?" she asked, her voice trembling a little. Mr. Ade took a deep breath. "Kemi, I have something to tell you. I am not really blind. I have been pretending to be blind to find out if you are hiding something from me." Kemi's eyes widened in shock. "What? You pretended to be blind? Why would you do such a thing?" she asked, looking both angry and scared. Mr. Ade pulled out his phone and showed her the picture Kunle had taken. "Because I needed to know the truth, Kemi. I saw you with Bayo at the cafe. You were laughing and talking to him. I know you have been seeing him behind my back." Kemi stared at the pictures, her face turning pale. She could not deny what was in front of her. Tears started to roll down her cheeks. "Ade, I am so sorry," she said, her voice shaking. "I never meant to hurt you. Bayo is just a friend." Mr. Ade shook his head. "Kemi, friends do not act the way you two were acting. I have trusted you for years, and you have betrayed that trust. Why, Kemi? Why did you do it?" Kemi broke down in tears. "I do not know, Ade. I was lonely and felt like you did not love me anymore. Bayo was there, and he made me feel special. But I know it was wrong. I am so sorry. Please forgive me." Mr. Ade felt a mix of emotion. He was angry, hurt, and sad. But he also loved Kemi and did not want to break up their family. "Kemi, I need time to think about this. I do not know if I can forgive you right now, but I need to decide what is best for our family." Kemi nodded, tears still streaming down her face. "I understand, Ade. I will do anything to make this right. I love you and the children. I do not want to lose you." Mr. Ade did not say anything more. He got up and went to their bedroom, leaving Kemi alone with her thoughts and regrets. He needed time to decide what to do next. This was not going to be easy, but he knew he had to do what was right for him and his family. Mr. Ade spent the next few days thinking about what to do. He knew he needed to make a decision soon, but he also knew he could not do it alone. He needed advice from someone he trusted. So he decided to talk to his mother, Mama Ade.